We have all experienced those long, sleepless nights, tossing and turning until daylight reaches our windows, seemingly unable to get comfortable. They're annoying, but not the end of the world, right? Well, for some people they are. People with fatal familial insomnia are physically unable to sleep, and as a result, they die within months of experiencing this intense insomnia. However, people with FFI aren't just insomniacs. They experience inability to regulate their body temperature, a loss of appetite, and sudden muscle jerks and movements. How does all of this happen, you may ask? It all starts with a mistake in a tiny protein. Proteins are the building blocks of cells in our bodies. FFI is caused by a mutation in a gene which creates a misfolded protein that has the ability to change other proteins, called a prion. This gene is named PRNP and is responsible for the instructions of the protein PRP. Scientists proposed this prion hypothesis to explain what triggers FFI. First, a mutation occurs in the PRNP gene. This means that once the PRP leaves the nucleus and moves into the cytoplasm, it changes configuration, resulting in an abnormally shaped protein called PRPSC. This prion protein then binds onto normal-shaped PRPC proteins, causing them to change their configuration as well. This process is actually why people with FFI die. You see, over time, the PRPSC proteins build up in the brain in clusters that destroy the surrounding neurons. This destruction results in empty spaces, creating vacuoles, or spaces between tissues, in the brain. A person with FFI can have this build up for years, but once they begin showing symptoms, they face a rapid deterioration in health. In people with FFI, these vacuoles mostly appear in the thalamus, deep inside the brain. The thalamus is where the body sends 98% of its sensory information to, and where this information is then sent out to areas of the cerebral cortex for interpretation, including signals to the motor cortex. As well, the thalamus is responsible for regulating appetite, body temperature, and the circadian rhythms which control sleep and wakefulness. Wait a second, do these roles remind you of anything? Well, if they remind you of the symptoms of FFI, then you're spot on. Because the thalamus is filled with vacuoles, it cannot function properly and send signals. A person with FFI's thalamus cannot function correctly, and therefore, the things the thalamus is responsible for, like sleep and wakefulness, are not regulated. Come on, let's take a closer look at the thalamus's control over circadian rhythms, as the insomnia is actually what kills a person with FFI. The thalamus plays a major role in both sleep and wakefulness. When activated, thalamic neurons release excitatory amino acids, which then excite the cortex and ultimately result in wakefulness. The thalamus also tunes the frequency of slow waves during non-REM sleep. The vacuoles created by the PRPSC buildup prevent the thalamus from functioning properly. As a result, a person with FFI can no longer fall asleep. This intense insomnia will ultimately result in death for a person with FFI, and they will have gone days, weeks, and even months without sleeping. Continued research on prion diseases like FFI can help find a cure, and may even assist in finding the cure of related diseases that affect many people, like Alzheimer's. Thank you.